Hi. Okay, so I'm a little bit sweaty and hot. I've just been doing some workout, and a subscriber of mine suggested about doing a little bit of a bio about myself. So I decided to talk to you guys about why I do pole and other ranges of dancing that I do. I decided to start pole a little while ago, back 18 months ago. I started pole. I had two children, and I had a cesarean section with my second child, and I'd obviously poled on the way. As a mum, I was not happy with my figure, had lots of bumps and lumps. As you could probably see, possibly over on my Facebook or my Instagram, if you follow me, you would see that I have lost not a lot of weight. Actually, I've literally just toned. I probably lost about stone and a half in total. I haven't changed my diet at all. I've still eaten everything that you would usually eat. I haven't starved myself in any way. The only thing I have changed recently is I've eaten more chicken. I thought it was a fly on my wall, but it's not. It's a nail coming out of my wall. I was like, what's that? I thought it was a fly on my wall. And I was like, no. Yeah, so the only thing I have changed is I've eaten more protein. So I eat more chicken, those pepperoni sticks. What else do I eat? It's like anything protein based. So if it's like it's again the shops and it says like a cereal bar and it's got protein on there, then I do eat those for like my lunch. That's the only difference I do, and I have gained quite a bit of muscle from doing that. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath. I'm just like sweating galore as well. Really good. So yeah, 18 months ago, I was in the beginners. I did two lots of beginners sessions. So my first 6 weeks were like a beginner's class, which taught me the basics. I had no upper body strength. I had nothing. I literally had no stomach muscles because obviously I had a cesarean. So I couldn't do hardly anything. I literally sat on the bottom of the pole the whole time. I didn't move. I literally sat there on that. So anyone thinking of joining pole, don't think, oh God, I've got no upper body strength. I can't go. I'm really body conscious. Do you know what? Just go. Don't worry about it because you will gain strength as time goes on. The second 6 weeks that I'd done as a beginner was like a beginner's plus class. So I basically went through the whole thing that I'd done in the first 6 weeks that I'd done. I then basically gone over again, but with a little bit extra. So I would try and push myself a little bit more. And I think for me, even though the pole absolutely killed like hell, I remember thinking, my God, I don't know if I could do this much longer because of the pain. Believe it or not, if you can actually stomach the pain of pole dancing, it is actually really painful. A lot of pole dancers don't actually let on, obviously because they're conditioned to it now. They don't actually let on how sore it can actually be. That's why you end up with a lot of bruises. I will warn you, you will end up with so many bruises. It's quite incredible, really. Going back to pole, yeah. So you end up with quite a few bruises. I still got loads now, and that was from. I've got to admit, I've been really ill this week, really badly. I haven't done no workout, no stretch, no pole for like nearly a week now, and it's only today I've thought, right, I need to get myself back into it because I've got competitions coming up and I've also got performances I have to do as well. So I need to get my butt in gear, which is incredible, of changing my life around. Like I'm going from one thing to totally the other, and I'm absolutely loving it. Yeah, so I go back to pole. Yeah, so I did 12 weeks of beginners, and then I went up to improvers class, and I'm not joking you, I then done that jump, and I thought to myself, oh my goodness, this is really hard, when really, it wasn't that hard. Now I look back on it, it was, for me, because I had no strength whatsoever. I still couldn't climb the pole at this stage. I mean, we're in 12 weeks now, nearly 3 months, and I still can't climb a pole. But I persisted and kept going. And then by, I started in January 18, and by May, I finally climbed the pole 5 months later. So also, that's another thing I'll say. If you do decide to start pole dancing, do not expect that you're going to get things straight away, because it doesn't. It takes months, it takes sometimes years. It takes a long time to get where you want to be. You also will not notice the difference in your body straight away. It is a long process. It's not happening overnight. You just have to go with it. And trust me, if you keep persisting, your body will change. You will be able to do those things upside down. You will be able to be like so incredible. You'll be able to lift your own body weight, which is absolutely incredible. I mean, I'm 10 stone 6. Okay. I'm not light. When I started pole, I was nearly 12 stone. So just goes to show I haven't lost that much weight, but yet my body is toned massively. I've lost it in my face. I have got like this here. This is defined. This never was here. I look at my body. I quite scare myself every time I go and look at the mirror at the bottom of my stair. I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, you know, it's life-changing. It's your body. You transform massively. And that's only if you like it though. I mean, not everyone likes pole dancing. You know, I personally don't like the gym. I hate the gym, hands up. Gym for me is boring. I'm so sorry. I cannot think of doing burpees and like lifting weights, running. Don't get me wrong, I will do it, and I've done it because I've been there. You know, it just isn't for me. I need something that's more isolated. So like with pole dancing, it's more isolated control. So it's more controlled. You're more controlled. I find I burn more calories doing more isolated moves than what if I was to go into the gym. For me, a gym is like your heart rate goes really fast, you're puffed out, you're knackered, I end up with a migraine. It's horrendous. I hate it. It's not for me. Could be for anybody else. Fair play to them if they do. You know, I'm not saying that, you know, you have to stop doing the gym. Just whatever, you know, whatever you take and that you like. But if you find that you think, oh, do you know what, I could really change it up, I could really fancy doing something totally different, because like your stomach's not going flat, or you know, your bum cheeks is just not, you know, looking perkier. I am not joking you. Pole gives you a whole body workout. It's not just specific, having to work on specific areas. Whereas I found the gym, I'd think, okay, well, I have to do certain weights today, so I'd have to work on my bum, and I'd have to work on my arms next day, or I'd have to work on my torso today. So, you know, it's yeah, I find it's all body workout, whatever you do. And I also train both sides. That's the other thing. That's what I was going to say. So training, going back to training, and how I've really literally noticed, I'd say within the last 2-3 weeks. Well, no, since January, I started a stretch. This January, I started a stretch class as well, because this January I went up to intermediate. So I started January 18, beginners for 12 weeks, and then went from beginners to improvers until the following January 19, which is with this year. I then went into intermediate class, and I noticed that in February was for the Bristol Pole Championships, so I entered it, didn't think anything of it. I really didn't think. I thought, really, should I, you know, because I wanted to do 2 different variations, because also I was in a performance as well. So I made up 2 different choreographies, and put in my application for the Bristol Pole Championships, which I didn't think I would get anywhere, and was absolutely blown away when I got through, when I found out this June that I got through. My background, as a little girl, I did ballet. So I do have a bit of a lucky enough, you know, something that I kind of know of. You know, I mean, obviously, I remember doing stretches as a kid, and to be fair, that is all I've done within the last year. In my kitchen, I use my kitchen as my bar. Excuse me. My kitchen is my bar, so I do a lot of my pliés and my isolated work out there, really. or I use the fireplace in my front room. I use whatever I can find within my home. Tin of baked beans, for lifting weights. I mean, I have actually now got myself some kettlebells. I was given those. They're only 4 kilograms, but still, it's still working muscle, I also use a tennis ball. Now, this is something that I will definitely say has made a massive difference for me working on the pole. Now, I'm a very sweaty person. My palms literally, as soon as I touch that pole, fire up, and I literally and as soon as my teacher comes over, it's like, Tash, come on, let's flip you over, let's do this, and then suddenly I'm like, and they used to just literally slide down the pole, and I was like, I get frustrated because I try and do a trick, and as soon as I try and do it, I would slide down it, literally. I would just literally slide down it. So I thought to myself, like, what can I do to improve that? So decided, there was a tennis ball just lying around on the floor in this house. Obviously my kids have had them. So I decided, I thought, right, do you know what? I'm just going to use it as a squeezing apparatus. And I did, and that's all I did. All I done was this, right? I'm going to show you, because this had a massive game changer for me. And I don't know if obviously my friends or anybody else who wants to start pole, so nice, the breeze, wants to start pole. This is something I did. So all I do, okay, is I literally just squeeze the ball with my hand, and then I'll like use my different fingers, and then back the other way, and I squeeze, and I do it with the other hand as well. But I'd also chuck the ball for coordination, but I'd work more on my right because I'm actually left-handed. So I'd work more on my right to try and combat the two, because obviously this is my I think it's my weaker arm, although yeah, I seem to be, I don't actually know, because I keep training so much on which I think is my weak side. I just don't know which is my bad side and my good side anymore. I just do things and I'm like, whoa, I can do that. Oh, I can do that. I can do that. But these are things that I do because obviously people say to me, Tash, like how, I've been doing this for years, and yet you come along and straight away you can do a butterfly and you can do a shoulder mount, and how are you able to do these things? Well, this is what I do. So to improve my skills, I literally do tennis ball. I also do kettlebell classes. That is one thing I do only now and again. I don't do them all the time, but I have found using a kettlebell class is really good for my strength, because again, like I said, I was never stomach and my upper body was just never strong enough at all. So and also I was injured in September from doing the splits, so I've been trying to get them back slowly and surely. They'll come back. And so I also do about 4 times a week. I probably do stretches every week. This week I've had a week off because I've been quite ill, like I said, but on average I stretch 4 times a week. So that means doing the splits, box splits, trying to do my back, although that's painful. So I'm 38 years old. I'm not no spring chicken. Do you know what I mean? I'm quite an older person. Well, not older person, but I'm not young, and I'm actually following stuff that I love, and I've always loved dancing. I've always loved ballet, and I thought, well, do you know what? Obviously ballet's a bit too more isolated, whereas pole dance is not so isolated, it's a bit more relaxed. So, and when I discovered it, that's what I was going to say to you as well. A really good friend of mine had a pole in her front room. Well, actually, she never had it up. In the front room, she had this thing, and on the ceiling, I was like, what is that? And I said to my friend, I said, Tam, where is that from? What is that? What is that for? And she looked around to me, she said, oh, it's for my pole. What? I said, what are you on about? And she said, oh, I do pole dancing. I was like, really? Well, at that time I'd found out I was pregnant with my first daughter, so I couldn't do pole dancing, and she was just becoming a teacher. So and that was back in 2009. So I wanted to do it for so long. As you can see, that's a long time ago. I mean, we're 10 years on, and I've only done pole in the last 18 months. So, but hey ho, here I am. I followed what I wanted to do, and there's some incredible, like, the acrobatics that comes from it is amazing. I think people seem to think they have this stigmata there. It is very stripified, yes, because they're put in strip clubs, but half of those strippers They can't even work a pole. They literally dance down the bottom of it because they don't know how to climb, well, or really know how to climb. There's probably about 3 out of 10 of them that actually know what they're doing. So, which is quite annoying because people turn around and go, oh, I go, oh, I'm a pole dancer. Oh, well, you're a stripper then. No, I'm not actually. I do it because I want to get fit and I want to look hot and I want to look skinny. And, you know, I don't want to look skinny as in anorexic skinny. I'm doing a proper way of doing it. You know, it's no different than going to the gym, you know. So I'm also trying to make women aware, or men, and that's the other thing, men do it as well, that it's not just exotic pole. You know, exotic pole is lush, don't get me wrong, I love it. I absolutely love it. It feels good. And as a female, we should feel sexy because, you know, pole dance is very masculine. You know, you build muscle. It is very masculine, a piece of apparatus, but yeah, it's not because it's very masculine, but yeah, you know, you can have different variations of pole dance as well. I mean, you've got contemporary, you've also got the like urban type isolated moves as well. It looks incredible. I'm not actually sure what they call it. I need to find out, but they do. It's called a fongi. Now, if anybody who's looking into doing pole dancing, look up fongis. I think it's Fongi, I think. That is incredible strength. If I can be able to do one of those, I know I'm doing really, really well. Maybe one day. I'm not going to say never because I never say never. I always say you never know. Just maybe. There's no such word as can't. And that is another word I've always had in my head. There is no such word as can't. So don't think you can't do it because you certainly can. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up because I'm 16 minutes in. It's just ridiculous. I'm just rambling on. So, yeah, if you have any questions or anything you want to talk to me about, please message me, subscribe to my channel and like what you see. I would really appreciate it. So have a wonderful day and I will see you all again soon. Take care. Bye.